Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. I got something in history for you, which is pretty interesting. On November 8th, today, 1895, German physics professor Wilhelm Röntgen stumbled on X-rays while experimenting with Leonard and Crookes tubes and began studying them. X-ray was discovered. You know the first X-ray was taken? His wife's hand. And when he showed it to his wife said, "I have seen my death," because of the skeleton. How cool is that? All right, Susie Wiles, one of the co-chairmen of the Donald Trump presidential campaign, has been selected by President Trump as his chief of staff. What's really amazing about this is she is the first, I can't believe this, she's the first woman ever to be named chief of staff. Take that, Democrats who claim that Trump is a misogynist. Susie Wiles is a great choice. She's Pat Summerall's daughter, the great football announcer for the Dallas Cowboys and CBS News, which I grew up watching. And she's been a political consultant. She used to work with DeSantis, left DeSantis in Florida to go work for Donald Trump. And, you know, she did a great job. And she will now be chief of staff. And I think that's wonderful. All right, the House, I checked this last night, I didn't check this morning. The House last night was 211 to 199, moving positively in the Republicans' direction. And the Senate is 53-45, still having to wait on Nevada and Arizona. What's great about the 53-45 is it protects the Republicans from Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. All right. Gascon, the DA in L.A. who sucks, guess what? He lost. I don't think the Menendez brothers are going to be getting out anytime soon. Bobby Kennedy, the pharmaceuticals apparently are nervous as hell about him, and he's explained very clearly how some of the departments at the FDA need to go, like the Department of Nutrition. How can you have a federal Department of Nutrition and our kids keep getting fatter? Exactly. The Fed did a cut, yesterday. We'll see what happens with that. And Powell's being defiant. He says he is not going to resign, and if he doesn't resign, President Trump can fire him. I checked into this a little bit, and it looks like he can be fired with the cooperation of Congress, but that would definitely break with tradition. I don't remember a Fed chairman not stepping aside at the request of a president. New York City has cut the prepaid debit cards. They're not doing them anymore for illegal immigrants, which leads to the question, why did they ever have them in the first place? Newsom is claiming defiance at California of Donald Trump. You know what? Trump went from like 33% of the vote to 40% of the vote in California. These governors, you had a governor of Massachusetts, a governor of Illinois, a governor of New York, a governor of California yesterday, claimed defiance about Trump. Yeah, it's easy to say that in a blue state, but you watch that blow up on him. And think about it. What happened with the Biden administration when governors like the governor of Texas, Abbott, stood up to the administration? What was the position of the liberals then, right? Can't make this up. Harvard canceled classes. Several classes at Harvard University were canceled on Wednesday so students could process the aftermath of President-elect Trump's win. In some, classes attendance was optional. Deadlines extended. Oh my God! A quiz was optional in intermediate microeconomics. It speaks for itself. Tim Walz was photographed holding his cat. Who would have ever known? We now know that Tim Walz is a cat lady. Tim Walz was holding a cat, and his daughter posted a note saying, "The world will keep turning." Tim Walz was a fruitcake. Trump County flipping. Trump County's flipping. There was a Texas county down the border that Hillary Clinton got like 80%, that Trump won. All over the country. Migrants, they turned back. There was 3,000 migrants coming up from Mexico, and apparently they're like, we're out of here. Donald Trump Jr. said yesterday that his role is to protect President Trump from people who think they know better than he does on the transition team. Music to my ears. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump will make sure their dad doesn't get any Jeff Sessions this time around. Fox ratings crushed all the other cable competition. Marjorie Greene Taylor, she's saying she's been loyal, and she wants to be in the cabinet. We'll see. Harris spent $1 billion, 2.5 times Trump, and lost. You know what's wild about that? There are people that have got filthy rich, consultants. They funnel that money, they money launder that money through political campaigns. Where did that money go? It's legal money laundering. It ought to be illegal. And one final add-on, Joe Biden gave a speech yesterday that pissed off the Democrats because it wasn't harsh. I'm telling you right now, he's going to play ball with Trump. He's got all the incentive to do so. Do not be a craven, mewling jolthead. The Shakespearean insult today chosen by me. Coming up next, your local news. Ladies and gentlemen, American Cheering Bulldog Nation, the Pete Rose Sunday Memorial is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 14 hours at Great American Ballpark. There's going to be a lot of people passing the old casket, or is it an urn? What's it going to be? I'm sure they'll have a lot of Pete Rose mementos there. My cousin Josh called me and asked me to go. I am not going to go. I'm going to be working on Sunday. But the bottom line is Pete Rose is going to be remembered really well on Sunday. Thomas Massey's been spreading around that he's interested in the agriculture secretary, and it's premature to talk about a transition team. This guy hated Trump, worked for DeSantis. Trump and DeSantis might have buried that, but if you follow what Don Jr. says and cabinet members, he doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of getting there. The first black woman was elected to the Kentucky Supreme Court, Pamela Goodwine. Congratulations, Justice Goodwine. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley in his World News.
Hello again, the latest world headlines. Donald Trump has appointed Susie Wiles as his White House Chief of Staff, making his first key decision as president-elect. Wiles is set to make history as the first woman to hold this influential position in Washington. Authorities in Chilpancingo, Mexico, discovered the bodies of 11 individuals, including 2 children, in a vehicle amidst ongoing violence in the city. Chilpancingo has seen severe unrest, with its mayor recently murdered just days after taking office. The identities of the victims remain unknown, and state officials are treating the case as a homicide investigation. In other news, Russian President Vladimir Putin publicly congratulated Donald Trump on his election win, calling him a courageous man. Putin noted the intense opposition Trump faced during his first term. Putin also commented on Trump's claim that he could swiftly end the Ukraine war, suggesting that this idea is worth considering. Trump has yet to outline on how he would achieve this goal. And Israeli soccer fans in Amsterdam has been the target of multiple attacks, prompting Dutch-right police to intervene. The Prime Minister condemned the assault as automatic attacks, as Israel military expressed concerns over the violent incident. Despite every police present, Israeli fans reported injuries in several areas of the city. You're up to date on the latest headlines. Have a fantastic weekend. Up next, Sports Without Boundaries.
All right, Sports Without Boundaries. Last night, the Bengals fell to 4-6. Devastating loss at the Baltimore Ravens, 34-35. I want everyone to know my comments on the game. Joe Burrow lights out, Chase light out, and the defense was great. However, I want to make a few comments about this game. When you see, they shouldn't have won for 2 points. They should have kicked the extra point, and you play for overtime. I mean, this is the NFL. This is not college football. Should have did the 1 point. The other thing was, on that play, Joe Burrow got slammed in the face, no call, and there was a holding on a pass route, no call. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But I have liked Zach Taylor, But Zach Taylor made the right call going for 4th and the first down when they were down by the goal line, because when you don't get it, the other team's way down on their goal line. You get the ball back. It's not a big deal. Of course, they converted and got a touchdown. They should not have gone for it 4th and 3 the second time they went for it. That was a mistake. Some other play calling. It was a 3rd and 2 in the fourth quarter, and I don't know if this was the play that was called or Burrow just did it. He threw deep twice on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2. I mean, just bad. So anyway, Bengals lost, devastating defeat. The Bengals now have to win every game, because if they win every game, they'd finish 11-6, and they can probably still make the playoffs. They could maybe lose one more game. But for all intents and purposes, every game now is a playoff game for the Bengals. Nick Bosa popped up an interview with a mega hat, says it was worth it, spoke out about it. He might be fined. Just think about this. Anybody who spoke up for Black Lives Matter, a professional football player, no issue. He speaks up for Trump. He's going to get fined. Good for Nick Bosa. You know what? I've always liked Nick Bosa. I like him a lot now, just like I like Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving based on their vax position. Coming up next, pop culture. All right, this is Eric Deters Pop Culture. One story. J-Lo. What did she know? When did she know it? And the nerve that she has. The nerve that she has to tell us who to vote for president when, she lived with P. Diddy, was involved in all kinds of crap with him, married twice to the father of her kids, the Latin music singer, whose name escapes me right now. I know who he is. I can see him. Mark Anthony. Married to Ben Affleck. Married to Casper, the backup dancer, or lived with him if he wasn't married to him. I mean, J-Lo. But think about J-Lo, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all these people who knew something about what was going on at P. Diddy's and never said anything. I mean, they're like Epstein's. It's sick and gross. One final thing on pop culture. The Chess Hall of Fame, International Chess Hall of Fame, had only picked two Americans to be in their Hall of Fame, and they chose me over Jamie Spindley. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.